All the next day I sleep. The stiff bark over my cut itches, but my tongue is too dry for licking. My leg hurts, but it will bear weight. In the cool of the night, I walk towards the smell of water as slowly as a bear walks out of its winter den. At sunrise, I see a ditch full of water ahead. The stench of cattle is thick on the ground, but I do not care. Without water, I will die. A few steps closer, and the scent of men stops me in my tracks. In the mountains, we found the smell of men around circles of stones and ashes. It is the smell Mother taught me to fear above all others. Men are the worst of all dangers. Unpredictable. Even bears, with all their seasonal moods, are easier to understand than men. I duck low in the grass and watch. There is no sight or sound of men. I creep closer and get a look smell at the prints. I am in no shape to fight or even run, but these prints have no toes, just a pad in back and another pad in front. Maybe this man cannot run either. Mother says they are fast for only having two legs, but they cannot fly like all of the other two-leggers. I cannot risk a fight, so I wait, even though I am more thirsty than I have ever been. Even though the sun is rising, and with it the heat, and with that my thirst. Still I wait and listen. And when I am sure, completely sure that the men are gone, I dash for the water and plunge my head in. Even with the stink of cattle, nothing in my life has ever tasted sweeter than that clear, cold water. I drink until my belly is full. I find a hidden spot and doze all day long in the soft green grass. Mice come to the water, and birds and rabbits. They are all too fast for me. By moonlight, a lumbering raccoon comes to drink. In one agonizing leap, I crush it. Pain shoots up my shoulder as I eat. The next morning, I am still lying in the grass, nibbling on the bones, when a single raven swoops down and lands beside me. For a long time, she regards me with her one-eyed stare. This raven is black as dirt after a fire, just like the rest, but she has a bare patch on her chest, picked clean of feathers. I look at it carefully. She looks at the brown bark on my chest just as carefully. What could have happened to her? She flies as well as I used to run, but why has she come to watch me so intently? I look at the bones around me. I have eaten every scrap. In my hunger, I left nothing for vultures or ravens or any other creature in need. Father would be ashamed of me. I sniff the skeleton and find a scrap of meat left on a leg bone. I nudge it towards the raven. I remember how ravens talked to my father, how they led him to food, and he thanked them with a gift of scraps. I need my pack, and maybe this raven can help me find them. I would give an entire elk to know what she can see from the air. I dip my head to her as I have seen birds do. She tips her head in return but does not take the meat. She circles around me, making a low rattling call. I have seen a raven do this to an eagle that had caught a rabbit. The raven kept circling behind the eagle and pulling his tail feathers. A test. To attack the raven, the eagle would have had to let go of the rabbit. Except for wolves, nobody hunts as well as an eagle. As I watched, I waited for the eagle to strike the raven dead. But even though the eagle towered over the raven, outweighed it, had far greater reach of wing, the eagle simply swallowed a few more bites of his kill and flew away. At the time, it gave me hope in my quest to make Sharp lower his tail to me. The largest creature doesn't always win. Daring and persistence can triumph in the end. But now the raven's game makes me nervous. What could she want from me? I have given her all the meat I have left. I get to my feet. The pain in my shoulder is less, but it feels stiff when I spin around to meet the raven face to face. She takes a few steps backward and circles behind me again. I spin in the other direction. It isn't so stiff on that side. I shake out my matted fur and growl at her. She fluffs up her neck feathers and caws at me. I should have asked Father how to speak to ravens. He seemed to understand them without words. The raven takes a scrap of bone in her beak and flies away. She climbs sharply, drops the bone directly over my head, and then dives for it. Against my will, I crouch as she plummets towards me, and then, with a sharp whoop of opening tail feathers, she catches the bone in her claws, pulls out of the dive, and circles me with chatters of victory. A good trick. She flies off ahead, but, in my clear sight, drops the bone and dives for it again. This is no pup's game. Ravens do things for a reason. She is talking to me. She must know where to find meat. For all their savvy, ravens have the wrong beak for opening a hide. They need some teeth to get out the meat. I follow her, walking at first, but as my stiff leg loosens, I manage a slow trot. She takes me out across the prairie, away from the water. There are countless game trails, each smell distracting me, but I cannot run fast enough to take down a coyote or a deer. One of the trails has a man smell. My father never hunted elk without checking for it. We walked away from easy pickings when the scent of men was on the ground. I am happy when the raven leads me away from the path. The sun rises high in the sky, and I am weary enough to stumble when I hear the sound of rushing water. I stop, listen. There is no water smell. I can only smell hay and mint, and a few other things I have never smelled before. I pause and lift my head, turning from side to side to make sense of what my nose tells me. We come over a rise in the ground, and before me is a green meadow with no elk or deer or any other good thing in it, only nodding rows of dark green mint stretching on in unnatural straight lines. Mother showed me a man's home ground once from far away. It had plants in straight rows and great patches of bald earth. Men do things for no reason, she said. A man sat upon a noise-making thing and rode its back around and around in wide circles over the dirt. For no reason. There was good water to one side of him, and a deer with her fawn hiding in the dappled shade of an aspen on the other side of him. He had no use for food or water. Men do much with dirt, Mother said, but they can kill with a look and a loud noise. Keep your distance. There is no understanding them. The plants and rows make me anxious, and I raise the fur on my shoulders to say so, but the raven coaxes me along. At least there is a river and a ditch to drink. On the far side is a black river, a raven black river, completely still, frozen in the heat of summer. The noisemakers of men go down this frozen black river faster than I can run. It smells like death. I am weary and disappointed. This is no place for a wolf. My family would never look for me here. I sit down and refuse to budge. The raven circles over my head and then swoops towards the shore of the Black River. In my disgust, I ignore her. The raven just as stubbornly swoops from me to the shore and back again. I do not care. I am not moving a step closer. In all the shock of bad smells and loud noises, I almost don't hear the coyotes. They scamper around the mint field in a yapping yellow mass. They go to the raven and, with yelps of glee, fall upon whatever she has shown them. My mouth rumbles and water runs at my mouth. I have not eaten since yesterday. I need a full belly in order to heal as I should. I stand up and make my way towards the feeding coyotes. If they see I'm injured, they will turn on me. But if I can scare them away with a howl, I can carry off some meat. I warily circle downward of them and then stand at the top of the ridge. I raise my head and let out my fiercest howl. The coyotes scatter as though they have been swept up by a storm. My tail raises to see them disappear into the tall grass beyond the farm. I turn back to claim my prize. It is small. Much of it is already gone. I am too hungry to complain. But then I see the paw. Not the broad hoof of an elk, nor the narrow one of a deer. A paw. 5 pads and 4 claws. What skin is left shows brown spots on white and drooping ears. I turn away in disgust. I will be much hungrier than I am now before I stoop to take such leavings from a pack of witless coyotes. I turn and walk away. As the sun lowers and the air cools, I hear a howl, and for a moment hope leaps up in me. But it is only the bachelor wolves, just those two, and no family of mine. I ache from ears to tail. I want my pack. Still, any wolf is better than none. I turn towards her howling and lope away. The bachelor wolves are not hard to find. They howl on and on, a pride howl. They have taken meat, all the better for me. I will eat first and show them my hunting skill next time, when I am stronger. I am grateful. Under the rough bark that has grown over my wound, my muscles ache and the hours of walking have made me weary. I will have to beg to eat with them. I will hate lowering my tail to these fools, but I must start somewhere. To join a pack, you must fight your way in or beg, and I am in no shape for fighting. Worm had a way of creeping towards me to play wrestle. He would let me win, and it made me love and want to take care of him. I pretend to be like Worm. I can make them want to take care of me. I look to the mountains of my home ground, all lit up with the setting sun. The pale wolves will be there. They will be wet marking over mother's and father's signposts, gathering in our meeting place, hunting over elk. Sharp will be one of them now. He is alive at least. Would it be worth it to stay on the home ground and live among strangers? I could go back. I could beg my way into the enemy pack, and then at least I would be home. But what sort of a home would it be? Always following, always eating last. The bachelor wolves are not very impressive, but they are young. They will get better. I could lead them some day. I will make myself strong and fight my way to the top. The prairie has elk and streams of water to keep us alive, and the sight of the mountains to lift our heads at the end of the day. What more does a wolf need? With that thought, I turn away from the mountains and head towards my new pack. Twilight is the stillest time of day, and there is no wind to bring me the smell of what lies ahead. The bachelor wolves have stopped howling, but I can find them by the sound of their eating. They have caught something smaller than an elk, smaller than a deer even. It has black and white skin. It must be the pup of a cow. Father would not like that. Even worse than sheep, he would say. Only fit for coyotes and vultures, he would say. I am hungry. I have to eat what I can. I stop a safe distance away and make plans. Even in the still air, the smell of fresh meat is so good it makes my stomach groan. I should wait until they have eaten the best part so they will not mind sharing what's left. But if I wait too long, there will be nothing, and I am so hungry. It is too late in the day for the birds to gather, so there is nobody to raise the alarm that I'm watching them. I sweep the tall grass around to see if I have any competitors for the rest of the meat. There is someone out there. I might have missed it, but a slight twitch in a thick clump of grass catches my eye. I turn my ears that way and raise my head to smell. Warm? My heart skips a beat. I rise up taller and smell again. It's him! My worm! I would know him anywhere. I lift my head to howl and then freeze. He is hiding, hunched low to the ground, watching the bachelor wolves. His golden gray fur blends with the pale green and silver grasses. He is alone and afraid. I am in no shape to defend him if the bachelor wolves attack, and they might. Warm and I together are more of a threat to them. I hold back my howl. I circle around silently and find a cluster of tall yellow flowers behind him. The bachelor wolves are still feeding. There is not enough wind to carry my smell to Warm. I roll a rock with my paw. He lifts his head and turns his ears my way. I'm here, I woof to him as softly as I can. A shiver goes through Warm. He turns around to look. I step into the open. He creeps towards me. I let my wag go. Warm! I knew he would follow me. When he is at last by my side, he rests his chin on my shoulder with a deep sigh. Whatever happens now, we'll be together. You're here, Warm says. I dreamed that you would be here. I rub my chin against his neck. We will travel together, I say, just like we planned. I can face anything now. The prairie is not so bad, I begin. There are elk, lots of them, and water. We will find a way. Just the two of us. I nose him from shoulder to, and then I see them. Claw marks, from his back to his rump, long, red, and angry. His back legs tremble, even when he is standing still. I do not know he is standing at all. I do not know how he is standing at all. The pain that still burns my shoulder but must be nothing compared to his. His wounds are not running with red, not now, but they cut clear through his fur and skin and deep into muscle. I feel a revenge growl deep in my throat. Who did this? I will tear them apart with my own teeth. But even as my growls build to snarl, I know that whoever did this was bigger and stronger than me. How will I protect Worm now? I am wounded and weak myself. He is thin, so thin. I can feel each rib under my tongue as I lick his wounds. Rest, I say to him. I will bring you meat. I nose him down where the tall grass covers us both. He needs rest and food. He needs me. I knew you would get away, Worm says as he curls up on the ground at my feet. You are the fastest of us all. I lick his ears the way he likes. Across enemy ground and clear out here on the flat, you never gave up. I would follow you anywhere, he says. My heart aches for him. He has not said what became of Mother and the pups. I want to know the truth, and I dread knowing. I have often seen Worm scared, but never this weak. I cannot ask him. Not now. I will feed him, I will make him better, and then if Mother and the pup survived, we will find them together. I turn back towards the bachelor wolves in their kill, towards the food that will save us both. Lightning. In my determination to take care of Worm, I almost miss the man smell. I crouch freeze. Men are walking towards the bachelor wolves, slowly and quietly. The wolves are so busy at their meat, still struggling over which one is the lead wolf, they do not hear the men coming. Their noses are so full of their kill, they do not smell the men coming. The men crouch on the ground on a rise just above them. Mother's words come to mind. They can kill with a look and a loud noise. I watch and wait. The men lift black sticks to their shoulders. Something is bad here. I can feel it. The fur all over my body rises. Hold still, I say to Worm. He lies motionless. The bachelor wolves have not caught scent of the men or me. They are busy with their food. The smell of it is agony. I need that meat. Worm needs it even more. If only the men would go away, I would be begging for my portion, eating, bringing a bellyful to share with Worm. I am tempted, sorely tempted to join the feast. The men are just watching. But Mother's words linger. They can kill with a look. What does that mean? And then the men throw lightning from their sticks. A flash of fire, a clap of thunder, and the wolves go down. The brown wolf goes to the ground without even a cry. The gray one yelps aloud. He struggles to run, but his back legs won't move. He drags them for a few agonizing steps, and then another lightning bolt flares, and another. The men are shouting now. Both wolves are down, but the lightning and thunder go on. Each burst makes the dead bodies jump. The sound of it shatters my heart. Panic floods me, and my breath comes in gasps as if I am drowning. Run! Worm is already moving, rigid with fear. He runs stiff-legged, as fast as his wounds will let him. I bound after him. Mother taught us to scatter when the scent of a hunting cougar is on the ground, but I cannot leave Worm now. We run, flat out, shoulder to shoulder. I will save him. He is all I have. A shout comes from behind. The thunder stops. Don't! Leave me! Worm pants by my side. Fear drives me to familiar ground, back over the path of the raven from this morning. I search my memory for some scrap of cover along the way. Some place, any place. The mountains had trees and ravens, thickets and caves. On the prairie there is only room to run and nowhere to hide. But if we can run far enough, darkness will hide us, and the useless noses of men will never lead them to us. A little farther, I say to Worm, as he stumbles beside me. Just a little more. There is a tree, a hawthorn. We run toward it, crouching underneath its spiny branches. Worm drops its head to the ground, breathing hard. I cannot see his wounds in the dark, but I can smell that red has begun to seep out of them. I curl my body around him and put all my hope in silence. There is a crack like a stick being broken, and a light shines out from where the men stand. It is as if a star has come out of the sky. An icicle of light sweeps across the grass. I hold my breath. It passes over us. I can feel Worm tremble with fear. The star swings back and shines all its light on us. The dark green leaves and black hawthorn berries glisten in the light. The light does not move on. It stays, and we are frozen in its icy touch. The growl of a noisemaker breaks the silence. Worm whispers in terror. I shush him with a look. They will get inside the noisemaker and go away, like men do. Then a second growl follows the first. They will go. They will get in their noisemakers, and we will never smell them again. The ground shivers as the noisemakers begin to move. They pick up speed, and I can feel, hear, smell that they are coming. I want to run. I need to hide. Pain saps my courage. There is nowhere else to go. I can feel Worm's heart against my chest, pounding as wildly as my own. The noisemakers slow and then stop. The cold white light fills me with dread, even though I am still hidden in shadow. A clap of thunder. A flash of lightning. I smell the sharp tooth of something whiz past my ears. We leap up, scampering away from the light that now swings back and forth across the grass. The lightning comes again and bursts. Again I feel it scorch the air above my head. A tooth falls dead in front of me, kicking up a puff of dust. Warm swerves to the side, and I dodge the opposite way. The light cannot follow us both. I will draw it away from him. I yelp to attract attention. I make noise as I sprint, while Warm runs in complete silence, with all the strength he has left. The light swings towards me and away as lightning snaps at my feet. Warm cries out, one sharp wail drowned out by lightning. My heart is bursting. I cannot see Warm. I can only run and hope. The mint field lies ahead, and I plunge into it. The thick stalks and leaves brush against me, bearing all smell of anything else. I will find Warm on the other side. I burst out of the field, and the black river lies ahead. I can still hear the lightning behind me over the roar of noisemakers coming down the black river. I am too frightened to stop, too desperate to be afraid. I do not break my stride. The black river is hard and sticky at the same time. The heat of day lingers on it. A huge noisemaker lets out a call like a bull elk. It swerves to one side and the other. I jump for the far shore and it whooshes behind me. The far side of the black river is steepy and grassy and dark. I fall down it, rolling over and over, tucking in my legs so they will not break. I stumble down in darkness, and when I finally skid to a stop, the night has gone silent and I am utterly alone. At first, I can only lie flat on the steep, rocky hillside. The ground still seems to be spinning. My breath comes in ragged gasps. My own heart beating is the only sound I can hear. When my ears stop ringing, when the dazzle of lightning fades and I can see again in the dark, I look for Warm. Listen for him. Long for him. But he does not come. The thunder and lightning have stopped. The sweep of cold light across the ground is gone. The sound of the noisemakers is gone. And Warm. Warm is gone. I should go back. If he is alive, he will need me. I look up the long dark slope. I shudder at the memory of the noisemaker whizzing up at my heels. The sticky feel of the black river, the bitter smell. I never want to cross it again. I should go back, but the dread of all I have seen, heard, smelled. How could anyone survive it? I cannot face the men, the lightning, the noisemakers again. I pick myself up off the ground. Everything hurts. I look over my shoulder. There is nothing but death behind me, nowhere to go but onward. I hear water below me. There is not a tree or a shrub, not even tall grass to hide me. I pick my way around rocks, test my footing on loose stones. The sound of water at the canyon floor guides me in the dark. I want nothing except a place to hide. Somewhere secret and safe where men will never find me. I want it more than meat and water in the light of day. I limp down and farther down. Rocks give way to grass and then shrubs and then finally trees. By nose and instinct I find a hidden spot along the canyon bottom with a rocky ledge overhead and a pine tree with branches that sweep the ground in front to hide me from everything. I turn in a weary circle, whispering the names of my pack for comfort. I am asleep before I hit the ground. In my dreams, I am running in panic through a thunderstorm that never ends. I wake when the sun finally reaches deep into the canyon. Everything still hurts, and I am too exhausted to take a few steps to water. I sniff the air for danger. I smell again for hope. I fall asleep again, thirsty and listening. I wake the next day with more thirst and with no hope at all for Warm. He was weak and wounded before the lightning came. I lie, listening a long time before I risk a drink. The next morning I risk a longer drink. I am not so stiff as before. The bruises from my fall are slowly fading, but the hard edges of my memory become sharper. They push deep into me like a tooth. Warm followed me. He found me. I promised to protect him. Promised. I remember all those summer days in the mountains when Warm let me play hunt him, help me get stronger, sharpen my stalk and my spring. All those times when he pushed me to run faster. All those times when he took the nips and snaps from sharpened pants so I would not have to take him. He made me the wolf I am, and I lost him. I was not strong enough, not fast enough to save his life. He died alone with no one beside him to sing his name to the wolf star. In my dreams I can hear Warm and smell him. I run and run and run and run, and just when I have almost found him running far ahead of me, I wake up, weary and heartsick. The skin over my belly grows slack, but I do not feel hunger. I only feel empty.